Oh, hello. I'm coming to you today with several messages. The first is those of you who remain underemployed or unemployed, let me know, and I'm happy to extend the Corona discount to you, the 20% off if you need that. Just let me know, and I'll give you a code that you can use. I want to give you a message that's been on my mind, and my guidance has been pushing on me for several days. I just haven't had the opportunity to create this moment for you. But I want to talk to you about that message that will carry through this coming week into August. And then finally, I'm going to do another reading for the collective and look at the energy we're all coping with. And I'll break it down into categories of love, money, and career. So whatever you're going through, you'll have a sense of the momentum that's facing you right now, okay? So let's talk message first. Divisiveness. It's a fascinating concept. I put a note on Facebook a week or so ago about being against things. That being against anything is not helpful to you or anyone. What's helpful is being for something. Against is as a resistance energy to the flow of life. You know, there's times we have to take our medicine in life. We all have lessons we've learned. One of the funniest things I've talked about over the course of my lifetime is some of the worst experiences I've had in my life is when I got what I wanted. It's so true. That's why at this point in my life, I very rarely ask for anything. I may set an intention for a certain something to happen in a period of time, but it's rarely of emotional or heartfelt consequence. I've just found it's best that I stay out of the way, because when I insert myself, I F it up, plain and simple. So the point I'm making here is learning to stay in the flow of life, learning to digest divine food of life, because every experience that comes to us is that. And if you see it as anything other than that, not only are you in judgment, but you put yourself in resistance. You know, this is why Eckhart Tolle has that beautiful saying of look at each moment in life as if you chose it. We have to digest life's food and understand why it is food for us. It's not our job to judge it and say, this is wrong, this is bad, this is terrible, I'm angry, I'm upset, I'm this, I'm that. Our job is to say, I cannot be given a learning experience I don't need. I'm treasured and adored by my Creator. Why is this happening right now? What am I supposed to be taking from this moment? And when that receptivity, that point of view becomes our default response pattern, then we can expand our awareness. And expanded awareness is what causes us to have greater insight about life or choices we may need to make in the human experience, but it's also what causes us to be more connected to the greater reality. When challenging moments happen, I think it's human nature to contract and seek to control something, because it makes us feel like perhaps we are in control, which we are never. So this false illusion about control really boxes us in. I need to be more angry. I need to be more vigilant. I need to be more, whatever fill in the blank word is that causes you to get like this, and the energy becomes tense. The answer to that response pattern is always to step back. If you cannot control your response pattern or manage it in such a way where you're experiencing the fullness of the moment, not just the moment itself, but all the dimensions of the moment, we have to step back. We have to go as far back, bird's eye view, as we need to go to be able to see it in the context of divinity. And this is the journey of the life experience. It's evolutionary in nature. We don't have a choice of whether or not we're going to evolve. You can go kicking and screaming, or you can go willingly. But this time of COVID, Corona, I've talked to so many people who are upset and miserable, and they think it's the worst thing ever. It's been one of the most fantastic times of my life. I kid you not. I have never been more at peace. I've never had more joy, more financial prosperity. It's never been, I can't remember a time when I've been doing so well. Why is that? What makes me so special about that? It isn't that I am numb to hardship or suffering. Any of you guys who know me know that I care very deeply about my fellow humans. But I also don't buy into the human experience as the dominant experience. I see this as an incredible time for evolutionary expansion of the planet and humanity. And not to go too far off the rails with astrology and that type of concept, but it is interesting that we're moving from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius, which is humanitarianism. And we get this huge push into COVID and other issues as well that are forcing us to evaluate our belief systems. It's requiring that we determine how much and recognize how much spiritual muscle we truly have and what we believe is true. And for me, I've been grounded in divine wisdom for quite some time. It's what I live, it's what I teach. I walk the walk and I talk the talk. And so when I'm looking at these situations, I see opportunity. It isn't that I don't see suffering, but I see it as a means to a different outcome. And if any of us look at suffering we've had in our own life, most often, with rare exception, it's a teacher, nothing more. Is it fun to suffer? No. But unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know anyone who grows through comfort. Never seen it, quite frankly. Unless we're uncomfortable, we don't change, we don't grow. And as we are evolutionary beings, it is the time to look beyond the moment we are in and develop that skill. You don't have to be psychic per se, but you do have to learn to pay attention to how you feel and keep those feelings in balance. We tend to run from one stimulus to another, thinking that's a coping mechanism of sorts. But we have to get right with our internal navigation system. And this COVID situation is an amazing time to do that. Everybody's schmutz is coming forward. Whatever lack and limitation you believe in is sitting right there in front of your face. You can't get away from it, so don't try. Pay attention to how you feel. Get right with your internal mechanism. And guess what? The best part of that is that that's really 95% of what you have to do. The rest of life will take care of itself if you master that piece. So it might be a teeny bit controversial to hear all this, but it is the message I have this week. It'll come out in written form the 1st of August in Eden Magazine. But I wanted to share it to you person to person, heart to heart.